Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to conduct lecture number 53 of our course, and in this lecture we will learn how one can actually uh, make these hardware interrupts as negative age triggered. So let's start our lecture. Okay, in last lecture we discussed about hardware interrupts. So we learned that these interrupts are basically age triggered. So they can actually be working on positive age triggered or they can work on negative age triggered. By default, they are positive age triggered, but we can actually make them negative age triggered. So we will come to know, we will understand in this lecture that how you can make these interrupts. What interrupts? Interrupt 0, interrupt 1, and interrupt 2, which are also known as RB0, RB1, and RB2 pins of microcontroller, right? And if you have configured their respective enables, right, for example, for interrupt 0 IE, for interrupt 1 IE, or interrupt 2 IE, and if we have made them their individual enables should be equal to 1, and global interrupt enable is also 1. So whenever you will receive a positive age triggered on any of these interrupt in this configuration, then their corresponding flag would become equal to 1, and we will have a notification, or microcontroller will have an interrupt, right? So we can actually make these interrupt as negative age triggered. And how one can do it? We have to use another register which is known as interrupt control register. What register? Interrupt control 2. Sorry, interrupt control 2 register. So let's see how this register look like. So this is the interrupt control 2 register, and we are concerned here with only 3 bits of it. That's why those bits are shown here. One can easily see here that those bits are int edge 0, int edge 1, and int edge 2. Int edge 0 is related to interrupt 0, int edge 1 is related to int 1 or interrupt 1, and int edge 2 is related to interrupt 2, right? So by default, whenever we turn on our IC, it is equal to 1. So these bits are by default equals to 1. So you know that 1 means interrupt on positive rise or rising age, right? That means these interrupts are by default whenever power on reset. By default, these pins are on triggered on positive age, right? So if you want to make those interrupts as negative age triggered interrupts, so you have to make these bits equal to 0. For example, if I want to make interrupt 1 as negative age trigger, what I have to do? I have to uh, make this corresponding bit of negative age triggered or interrupt age triggered 1 equal to 0. And how you can do it? You know that this is just a bit, so you have to make it 0. And how you can do it? BCF interrupt control 2, which is the register name, and the bit name is int edge 1. Int edge is associated with interrupt 1. So in this way, our interrupt control 2 or interrupt 1 will become equals to negative age triggered. So whenever instead of positive age, whenever a negative age will appear on interrupt 1, it will be setting its corresponding interrupt flag, which is interrupt IF. So this is how you can actually make any of these interrupt as negative edge triggered. You just need to make these bits of corresponding interrupts or corresponding bits of respective interrupt equals to 0, and you can use it. You can use this instruction to make so. Okay, that's it from this lecture. If you have any question and query, you can post them in comment section. Thank you so much for listening.